In this episode of John's Arcade, we're going back to the garage. That is right, guys, because this is the grand finale of the Jump Bug restoration. Yes, we are going to finish the game in this video and then bring it down to the basement. All right, guys, let's get on with the show. Hey, guys, we are in the basement, and today, yes, guys, today, we are doing part number 8. Yes, part number 8 of the Rock-Ola Jump Bug restoration. And why is this so special? Why is part number 8 so special? Well, I'll tell you why. Because it's going to be the last video. Yes, because we are going to finish up the Jump Bug in this video. And we're going to get the Jump Bug. We're going to bring that Jump Bug down here in the basement. And quite frankly, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to have Jump Bug down here. I want to play it. I want to get good at it. I want to have a high score. I'm going to be a Jump Bug king. So anyway, we got a lot of work to do still because, you know, in the last video we did all the paint and the laminate and all that stuff. But in this video, we got to put the game back together because right now it is in a million pieces. The game, I mean, we removed every screw, every bolt, everything has been removed from that game. So we need to get in the garage and put it all back together and put the side art on. We got a lot to do still, really. So buckle up, this is gonna be a long episode, a really long one, guys. But it's all worth it. We have to do all of this work so we can bring the game down here and enjoy it. So enough of that, I'll shut up. Let's just get to the garage. Let's get to work. Let's finish that game and bring it down here, guys. That's right, this is part number 8 of the Jump Bug restore. All right, guys, let's go to the garage. All right, guys, we are back in the garage, and yes, look at this. Just look at the Jump Bug. Guys, we did a lot of work in the last video. Let's quickly review. So in the last video, we spray painted all of the blue paint, and my God, it actually looks really good. It looks freaking awesome. So we spray painted all the blue because that's what they did originally. This was all sprayed at the factory. I used some Rust-Oleum 2x cover paint, ultra cover paint and primer in one. The color is brilliant blue, and you know what? It actually looks really damn perfect. And so we used a gloss paint, and I was able to see a lot of the defects as a result, but I came over here with a light sanding sponge, and it looks really good. And then on the sides, we used laminate, which is the first time I've ever done this, and it was a massive success. Actually, we should review a couple things, because in the last video, it was funny because we applied the laminate, and then we took a router and routered the edges, right, and to make it match the profile of the cabinet. And what's funny is that in the video, and I knew this going in, that I was supposed to router counterclockwise, right? I was supposed to go around the cabinet counterclockwise. And in the video, I even said, you want to go around the cabinet counterclockwise, because a couple people have told me this. Now, I actually don't even really know the logic behind that, but everyone says you need a router counterclockwise, okay? So I say that, and then I routered clockwise. So I don't know what to tell you guys about that, but for whatever reason, I went clockwise around the cabinet and not counterclockwise. But the good news is it was a success. Now, we had a little bit of a mishap on this other side here, and I actually have since fixed it, okay? And I just fixed it really quick, and I think it actually turned out pretty good, because the router, when I came around this side, it dug into the cabinet, okay? And we had a little hole here, and I just came in and I filled this. Actually, I was looking around the garage, just seeing if I had something in the garage I could use to fill this little mistake here. And I didn't want to use Bondo. I didn't want to get involved in Bondo and paint, because this laminate is so perfect. I just did not want to do that. I just wanted something to fill this in that was white. And so I looked around my garage and I had this stuff, lightweight spackling compound. Now, this is a very light duty material. It's not super durable. It's really made for like covering nail holes in your house, like in drywall. But it was very easy to work with, and I just kind of pushed it in here and just kind of flattened it with my finger like this, and it looks really good. So I'm leaving it alone. It's not super durable. It's not the best material, but man, it was very simple to work with. And it's a nice, like fluffy kind of material. It's right here. It's almost like cotton candy or something, or bubble gum. It's really like spongy and airy, and it's very clean and easy to work with. And it was absolutely perfect to fill this in. So that looks a little bit better here. It looks like I got a little bit of dirt or something on it. I don't know, maybe I'll go over it with some simple green, but that was a success. And the other thing I did do since the last video, because if you guys remember, after I routed the laminate, I was kind of scrutinizing my work, and it was a little kind of uneven on the top here, not perfectly smooth. So I came in with my sander, okay? And I did this off camera, but I just came in with my sander with some 100 grit sandpaper, and I just went along the edge like so, okay? And I just did that on the top and on the back, and it actually really smoothed it out. And now, honestly, I can tell you guys that this cabinet is 1000%. It looks freaking awesome. Our laminate job, honestly, was pro. It was pro. I pulled this off, guys. You know, I have just wonderful edges all around. So I really, really recommend doing this laminate because it was a massive success. I mean, I can't believe this game. I'm looking at the cabinet. I can't believe how perfect it looks. It looks like this cabinet was built yesterday. And just look at our smooth edges. You remember in the last video, it was kind of a little, it wasn't perfectly straight. So I just took my sander, zip, and I did it on the back here, and it just turned out fantastic. So, and then also since the last video, I did clean up a little bit in here. I took my sander and just sanded some more on the surfaces because they were just really filthy. And there was a bunch of overspray. So I just kind of came in here with my palm sander and sanded the floor of the cabinet and that shelf with 100 grit sandpaper with my palm sander, and it looks really clean. And I also took my leaf blower and just blew everything off here. And I also just cleaned the cabinet up with simple green because now we are ready to do the assembly. Actually, I wanted to vacuum the bottom. Let me get my vacuum cleaner, and I'm just going to vacuum the bottom real quick. Okay, we are nice and clean, and then also off camera, I did take some simple green and paper towel, and I just wiped down everything simply because I sanded some of this blue, and there was some sanding dust on the surface, so I simple greened this and the top and the front and all that. Okay, so we're really kind of ready now to start putting this thing together. However, we have a little detail thing we need to do. Because originally, there was some carriage bolts on the outside here that held the monitor on, okay? Because there's some monitor brackets that go on the inside, and there was holes in the side of the cabinet that went through the side art that held these brackets and also the monitor. And then also on this side, on the bottom, we had some holes that held the power supply, because the power supply is bolted to the side of the cabinet, and there was 4 holes here on the outside of the game that were for the power supply. So I need to re-drill those holes, and this could be a little hairy. I don't know because we're gonna have to drill from the inside, okay, out, right? And we risk cracking the laminate, okay? And I'm a little worried about it. And actually, one of my viewers was also concerned, and he sent me an email saying, "Hey, John, you know, when you drill through that laminate, you probably should put some tape on the outside of the game on the laminate, and that'll help with the cracking, okay?" And he also said you should drill a pilot hole first and then kind of go progressively larger. And that was kind of my plan already. I actually have heard about the tape before, but never really thought about it beyond that. So I'm going to take his advice, and let's throw some masking tape on here. So I'm just kind of coming here on the other side and putting my finger on the hole. And I'm just going to run some masking tape on the outside here. And I'm going to kind of maybe go overboard a little bit with the masking tape. So let's see, the hole is right about here. So I'm just gonna kind of come in here, and we're just gonna throw some masking tape on the outside. And I'm just gonna try to line it up the best I can by taking my finger on this side, and then just kind of using the force to line it up on the other side. God, this tape is not sticking. It's a little muggy today. Look at that, it's just falling right off. All right, let me see if I have some other masking tape. Hang on. All right, guys, I went to the hardware store and I got some new tape because the blue tape is just kind of like a low tack tape. So I got some cheap stuff, the white tape, which isn't a better quality, but it does stick better. It has a little higher adhesive. So I put tape all over this area, just kind of, really I went overboard with the tape, but you know, the drill holes are like here and here. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna drill a pilot hole first, okay? And I actually went to the store and picked up a brand new set of bits, real cheap, like 10 bucks at Home Depot. So I figured I probably should do this with new bits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use like a 7/64 bit first, and we're going to drill a pilot hole, okay? And I'm just going to come in here, and I'm going to go drill my pilot holes everywhere, okay? So let's go on this side here. We can watch it kind of peek out, but I'm just going to come through, nice steady pressure and speed, and we're going to just drill a pilot hole. Here we go. No problem. Look at that. Right through, okay? So let's go do it down here. Okay, and then I'll do a pilot hole on this side, and I already have the tape on this side. Okay, and then on the bottom for the power supply, I'm going to do the same thing. It's going to come through here and drill some pilot holes. 1, 2, 3. And 4. Okay, so we have our 4 pilot holes for the power supply and our 4 pilot holes for the monitor brackets. That was a 7/64 bit. Now for the monitor brackets, we're going to go up to 1/4 inch. So I'm going to go a little bit bigger. Let's go 3/16. I'm going to do like a 3-step thing here. So let's do 3/16. And I'm just trying to be careful here. I don't want to ruin my laminate. So let's do 3/16. Okay. No problem. Let's go do right here. I'll go through this side. 1. All right, I'm going to step up now to 1/4 inch for the final hole, okay, for the monitor brackets. So I'm using a 1/4 inch bit. And let's get that in the chuck. All right, so here we go. 1/4 inch. This is our final hole. No problemo. Goes right through it. Okay. And then let's go do this side right here. Okay, so let's take our tape off. We do have to finish up the holes for the power supply, but perfect. Okay. There's our monitor bracket holes. That looks very good. And then let's come over here and get the tape off this side here. So we got a little bit of chipping. No big deal. That's going to be covered by the bolt, okay? And actually the side art is going to go over this too. All right, so on the bottom here, we need to finish off our holes. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing that we did on the side. I need to figure out what the largest size is, though. It's not 1/4 inch down there. It's a little smaller. So let me change the bit out. Let's see if 7/32 is a good fit for that. Yeah, a little smaller than that. So let's try, well, 3/16. That might be it. Let's try 3/16. Yeah, that's good. So the holes for the power supply are 3/16 of an inch. All right, not hard. Just take your time. Last one here. Okay, so we have all of our holes drilled. Let's inspect our work over here for the power supply holes. Yank this stuff off. And it looks good. Yep, no problem. Easy peasy. Just a little bit of a chip right here. That's really the only flaw I'm seeing. And that's actually okay, because the bolt head will cover that up. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. All right, so what should we do now? Well, we should put the side art on and the T-molding. I'm kind of thinking we'll put the T-molding on right now, and then we'll do the side art. So I went to twistedquarter.com, which is a great website, and I ordered some T-molding. This is 3/4 inch leather textured T-molding, okay, and that is what was originally on the game. And so this is a perfect match for what we had on there originally. And you can see it has like a leather texture. There's basically two flavors of T-molding out there. There's the leather and then there's the smooth, okay? The game originally had the leather, so that's what I picked up. So I actually bought leg levelers too, and I also bought a lock for the back door. And all this stuff was like $13 shipped from Twisted Quarter. They're pretty reasonable. That is a good website. I do recommend them, twistedquarter.com. All right, so I'm gonna put the cabinet on its back, okay? Because I think that's gonna be the best way to start our T-molding. And I'm gonna move it forward, and we're gonna put it on its back. So I'm just gonna kind of roll it forward a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and put the game on its back. And we're gonna start at the bottom, okay? And I just wanna be careful we don't ruin our work, and I don't wanna crush my fingers either. Okay. All right, so I do wanna replace the leg levelers. Maybe we'll do that first. But we're gonna start the T-molding on the bottom, like right here, okay? And we might have to recut this groove, I'm not sure. But let me get my channel locks, and let's get those old locks off. I mean, those old leg levelers off, because they're kind of gross. So I'm gonna see if I can get them off by hand. And I'm just taking my channel locks, and this stuff's usually very rusted, and it does sometimes take some muscle to get off here, and they do tend to break, so I gotta be careful that I don't break these. Boy, it's really on there. God, you know what I don't want to do right now is break the I don't want to break the leg leveler, the bolt. I kind of want to get this part off. Ouch. So I can get at the head. So I'm just kind of manhandling this. There we go. All right, so there's the head. So let's see if we can now get it off easy. Oh man, it's really in there. And the whole thing just popped off. I knew that was gonna happen. That's all right. So we're gonna replace that. So let's do the same on this side. It's just really rusted on there. Okay, we have that little leg leveler bolt out of there. And then this one over here, we had to rip it out. So I went to the hardware store and I got a new flange. This is about $1, real cheap. It's pretty much identical to what was in there. And I'll just stick this in here and we'll just kind of rotate it so the new screw holes are in a different spot than the original ones. And I bought some little screws here, very similar to the ones that were in there originally. And we'll just come in and just throw these in here. Alright. And now we have a nice, fresh leg leveler flange, whatever you want to call this thing. Okay, so now we can put our new leg levelers on. Now in this cabinet, there's only leg levelers in the front, which is a little goofy, but so I'm gonna set this little nut all the way to the bottom, and we're gonna have this pretty much as low as it will go, because we really want it to be as flush with this skid. It's kind of how I interpret this, but so let's just go like that, and it's just, you know, a 1/4 inch above the skid. I don't know, that's kind of how it was originally. I'm tempted to take this nut out. Yeah, I think I am going to. So I'm going to take this nut off on this game because I want it to be flush with the skid. And of course, if I do this, it'll be very difficult to get it out later, which we saw with the rusted one because we couldn't get our pliers in here because it was sitting so flush with the cabinet, but that's all right. Okay, so now without the nut, it's about 1/8 of an inch lower than the skid. I wonder why they did the single leg leveler on the bottom. It's kind of weird, isn't it? And I'm going to use this original one because it's still in good shape. It's a little rusty, but once we get it on there. All right, so we're about ready now to put the T-molding on. I'm wondering if I need to... Oh, I got glue in there. I'm going to have to just cut this T-molding groove real quick. I can see that there's glue in it. Actually, let me remove this. Let me grab my router. Hang on. Okay, we got this all routed out. I got the glue out of here. We got leg levelers on both sides. We are ready to put the T-molding on. So we're going to start on the bottom. And I bought 25 feet of T-molding, which should be more than enough. Okay? And I'm using a rubber mallet. Okay? And we're going to start on the bottom. And what I like to do on the bottom is I usually throw in a couple staples down here. This is just kind of what I've been doing forever. And it really helps as we go up because we're going to be putting a lot of pressure on the bottom. And you don't really see the staples. So I'm just using a cheapo Campbell Housefield nail gun. And I got these staples here. And I bought this a long time ago at Ace Hardware, really inexpensively. So I've already got my compressor. And I just have a little teeny tiny 100 PSI compressor right there. Real cheap setup. But it's actually totally worth it. So let's go ahead and just throw some staples in here. Okay. What's happening here? Those staples are coming out. There's one. Okay, so we got 3 staples there, just holding that in as we start. And I'm just going to take my rubber mallet and we're going to go all the way down. And I'm a little worried here because my T-molding grooves look big to me. They look fat. So we might have to get some glue involved. I was thinking about getting some hot glue maybe if it doesn't stay in, but so far so good. And we're just going to come down the line here. It's actually going on pretty well. Boy, man, this game is going to look top-notch when we get done here. It really is. Okay, so to make this bend here, it's going to be a little tricky. So I want to take my side cutters, and we're going to cut some of the barb away, okay? And so I'm going to come down here, and I'll show you guys in a second what I'm doing close up. So I'm just going to come in and cut some of the barb with my side cutters so we can easily make this bend, okay? And let me show you what I did here. So you can see there, I took my side cutters and I just cut some of the barb so that we can make this turn, okay? Otherwise the barb is fighting with itself. All right? And I can tell the T-molding wants to pop out of that groove. Yeah, it totally is. So we can do a couple things here to alleviate this. I can put some tape on the barb, which is what I usually do, or we can use some hot glue, which I usually don't do. But let's try the tape method first, because we just got to basically fatten the barb so it stays in here, because I don't want this T-molding falling out. God, it's really in there loose. So the T-molding groove we cut, I don't know, man. It seems kind of fat. Should I glue it? I mean, the hot glue is nice because it's not permanent. You know, it's easy to get rid of, and it does do a pretty good job. And this groove right here just looks a lot fatter than a 1/16 of an inch. And we used a 1/16 of an inch bit, which is weird. I don't know if my bit was just kind of is wore out or something. Yeah, God, you know, I'm going to hot glue this. We're going to throw some hot glue in here, and we're going to use that in the front. Because I think once we get past the front, it's all going to stick really well. And I just do not want this T-molding to pop off. And let's do the hot glue method. Let me get my glue gun going. All right, I got my cheapo glue gun here, heat it up. So I'm just going to come in here, and I'm just going to throw some in here. I got to go as fast as I can before this stuff dries. Just going to do a little section at a time. And like I said, the glue gun, this glue is not permanent, so if you ever need to change this again, it's not a big deal to get rid of this glue. It usually comes off in one piece. Alright. I just don't really want this T-molding to be lifting up on me later in the basement. This will certainly help our cause. Okay, so now we need to make this bend here. And I don't think we're going to really need the glue after this, but I'm going to put some glue here on the bend. Okay. All right. Okay, so we have another bend here. I need my side cutters, because we're going to have to make this right here. And I'm just kind of cutting that barb a little bit. All right, we're going smooth here. I'm going to lift the cabinet up, I think, now. So let me do that real quick. Get my glue gun out of the way. Okay, so let's lift this cabinet up, and I got to be careful of the T-molding. I don't want it to fall out as we lift it, so we just need to be aware of that. So let's come up in here, lift this up. Let's hold the T-molding. Okay. So now we can see what's going on here. Let me get my rubber mallet. All right, so same deal here. We have this turn. Where did my side cutters go? Right there. So I'm going to come in, and I'm just going to cut right here just to release the pressure. You can see that there, of this bend. Okay, I don't think we're going to need to cut here. And we are going to need to cut a little bit on that top bend. I don't think it can make that. It might be able to. Let's see what happens here. Ow. Okay, and then back here, I might do the staple trick. So the T-molding just kind of, shit. So I gotta cut a groove here because of my, I need to cut a groove because this is filled in with the, with that putty stuff I used. Let me see if I can just cut that with a blade. Let me, I've taken my router out like 5 times today and put it away each time. So let me get my utility knife and let's just see if we can score this. Just gonna come in here like so and just see if we can open this up. Yep, no problem. Yeah, that works fine. Okay, so let's come in here. Okay, then I'm gonna take my side cutters and we're just gonna cut off here where it ends. And it ends like right about here. So let's just cut a little bit above it. Okay. Let's see if we can make it a little straighter. Okay, that looks pretty decent. And just kind of bam, done. Okay, so we have T-molding on one side. We have one more side to do. And let's just kind of inspect our work here. I think we did pretty all right. And it really looks sharp. I mean, that really finishes the cabinet off, doesn't it, guys? So let's just inspect our work. I just want to make sure it's not popping out anywhere. It doesn't seem to be. Everything is flush. Our hot glue work was good and successful. These bends are good, nice and tight. That looks really good. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side the same exact way. But guys, we are on our way. So, all right, let's do that other side real quick. Okay, we are all done. The T-molding is on everywhere. It looks actually perfect. And I did use the hot glue quite a bit this time. I had some problems back here. I used hot glue. I'll tell you, I never really used the hot glue before, and I think it worked actually really well. I mean, the alternative is, well, we could use the tape, which I've done in the past. You could put tape on the barbs, and that'll kind of fatten it up and make it stick in that groove if the groove is too worn and just fat. Or the other option, of course, is to fill in the groove with wood glue or Bondo and recut the groove around the entire cabinet. So obviously we didn't do that, and honestly I didn't want to do that. So the hot glue worked perfect, and it looks very neat, it's very secure, so I'm very happy. So I'm gonna clean up the cabinet really fast, and then we're gonna put the side art on, but we've got a bunch of smudges and just fingerprints from manhandling it. Putting the T-molding on, so I'm gonna clean it up really fast, and we are ready to put the side art on, and I cannot wait to see this cabinet with this side art. I'm pretty stoked, I have to say. So let's just wipe this down, and this laminate is so awesome, man, because it just cleans up. You just wipe it. That's it. And it's like brand new. All right, so that side looks pretty good. I'm noticing right here, it's kind of popping out. I'm gonna take my rubber mallet. It's just not perfect. This little turn right here, I can see with the light that it's sticking out just like a minute amount. And now it's not. So I just taken the fat side of the hammer and just kind of pounding it in that corner just to really push that in there, and that works perfectly fine. So. All right, so we're all clean, and we're gonna put the side art on. And the side art right here is from Rich at This Old Game. He printed me some jump bug side art. Actually, Matt Can Draw from the John's Arcade forums vectorized this, okay? So Matt vectorized this. Rich printed a set for Sean, Fetish Boy. on my podcast, Arcade Outsiders. And he also printed a set for me, and it was vectorized by Matt Can Draw. So Matt had some photographs and scans of the original art, and he sat down in Illustrator and he vectorized it, okay? Now right now it has a pre-mask on here to protect it while we're working, but the artwork's underneath. So I remember that when we removed the side art, I took some mental dimensions, and it was about 3/8 of an inch from the top, okay? The side art was really high. It was really high up. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna make sure that this is nice and square on here, okay? And we're gonna go really high, because that's how it was. And I think we're gonna do maybe a 1/2 inch from the top and a 1/2 inch from the back, and see if that works. I think it was more like 3/8 to the back. It was super high on here. So I think right about there, okay? Just like so. But the first thing we do need to do though is clean it. Yes, I know we just cleaned it with Simple Green, but we're gonna clean it also with Rapid Tac, which is this stuff right here. And this is what we're gonna use. We're gonna do the wet method, okay? And this is a cleaner and application fluid for vinyl, okay? This is what the car guys use. And this stuff is specifically designed for vinyl. It really makes it easy to put on, okay? It minimizes air bubbles. And it's the only way I will put side art on. I will not mess around with the dry method. I just don't like it. I like using this stuff, and I've used it a lot. And I always, always, always get the results I'm looking for. So I'm gonna just wipe this surface down with this, and this is gonna really clean it and get it ready for adhesion. And then we're gonna apply it again when we remove the backer paper and stick it to the cabinet. So right now we're just using it as a cleaner to clean and prepare the surface for the side art. And then we're gonna use it again as an applicator. And we're basically applying the side art to the cabinet wet, which is gonna help us release and push air bubbles to the edge very easily. And then when it dries, it'll be on there permanent, and this stuff doesn't mess with the glue. It doesn't make the glue weaker. So I don't see any reason not to use this stuff, honestly. All right, so let's get our side art. Where did I put it? Where did it go? My God, it's amazing how I lose stuff in this garage. I put it down somewhere, I step away 3 feet, and I can't find it. All right, so we're gonna just kind of eyeball it a little bit. So I want to be close to the back. Let's put a piece of tape in here. This is kind of tricky because we can't really see this. The paper, the transfer paper is not die cut. The artwork is, but the transfer paper is not. So I have to kind of look through the paper and kind of eyeball this. And I'm going to do, let me see if this is straight. So we're getting really close to the front here. So I'm going to come back a little. So we're about 3/8 on the top, 3/8 on the back, and maybe a 1/2 inch on the top. Thinking about how I want to do this. So I want to tape this thing on here. I just don't want to put this on crooked. That's my fear. I'm not sure if this blue tape's going to work. So let's get a starting point, like right here, okay? And then we'll work with this. This is not actually good. So let's kind of come in here like so. Let's tape it down. Ah, shit. Right there. Right about there. That looks pretty good. Okay, so let's just kind of see what we're doing here. Okay, so we're about a 1/2 inch from the front. And then if I tape down the back here, and I'm using the back edge of the side art, trying to look through it and see the cabinet. And so I just want to make sure I'm straight. I think right there. Right about there, I think is going to do it. Okay. So let's inspect our work here. It's moving on me. I'm going to come on this side. I'm going to put a piece right here so it doesn't move. Okay. So we're just lining it up, and right now I'm just kind of eyeballing the top. If you can see through here, we are about, the peak here is about a 3/8 of an inch, and the back is closer to a half, okay? And I just want to make sure that we're straight. I don't think we are, actually. I think we're crooked. Yeah, we are. We're totally crooked. So I need to kind of tilt it a little bit. This is tricky because you can't really see what you're doing easily. All right, so what I should do is get a tape measure. Yeah, I know, guys, we're doing this in real time. The pressure is on John to hurry up. I know, I get it. I don't want this to be boring. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my tape measure here and I'm gonna measure, let's do a 1/2 inch, okay? From this white edge to here. So that looks like about a 1/2 inch. And I'm gonna come back like this. And then let's come down here and make sure we have that same 1/2 inch on the bottom. We don't. So I have to kind of, God, it's so hard to see with all this paper in the way. Oh, I wonder if I should tear some of this off. I think I'm gonna do that. Let's tear some of this. Let me get some scissors, actually. I'll get some scissors, and we're gonna cut the paper away a little bit. Hang on. All right, so I'm gonna come in here and just cut some of this paper away so we can see what the heck we're doing. And I'm just gonna stay a little bit to the right of the art itself. All right, yeah, this is gonna really help us. So let's do the same down here. Okay, now I can really see what's going on. And then I'm gonna do the same on the top. Let's just get some really good measurements going. Let's not guess, let's use our tape measure. And so I'm gonna cut some of this tape off, this paper off the top, so we can really see what the hell is going on. Okay. Now I can really see what's up. So I'm gonna tape this to the top here, so the crown is about a 1/2 inches from the top. Okay. And the crown, all right, I'm just gonna come like that. And now we can kind of pivot this. Okay, so now the back, let's measure that. And right now, it is about 5/8 from the back. I'm just gonna turn it a little bit. Let's see how we are on the front. We got plenty of room there. Just gonna turn this till, there we go, 1/2 inch. So let's hold that there and let's tape this down. Okay. Now let me test my measurements on the bottom too to make sure we also have a 1/2 inch. And we don't, so it's clearly, is this thing not perfectly straight? What's going on with this side art? No, it is. It's just that I need to move this over. So I'm not going to tape this down yet. Let me rotate this. So that's 1/2 inch there, and then on the top it's too close, so we got to move it over. That looks pretty good. All right. So now, not quite. Gonna slide this over. And it looks pretty even there. All right, let me tape this down. So let's go ahead now and measure this. So that's a 1/2 inch there. And now on the bottom, let's turn it right there. That's a 1/2 inch. Hold this. 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Okay, so right there is where it needs to be. All right, I gotta hold this and grab my tape. Ah, shit, I had to let go. All right, let's try this again. I'm just trying to make sure I have a 1/2 inch on the right side of the side arc to the cabinet, and then the same on the top. Right there. Because I don't want crooked side arc. It's gonna go like this. Just to hold that. Alright, so let's measure up here now. That's about a 1/2 inch. Alright, so I think I have it in a good spot. Let me double check my measurements. So right here, that's exactly a 1/2 inch. And then right here, that's exactly a 1/2 inch. So we're straight. Alright, that's the spot. So I'm gonna come, and then the top, whatever this ends up being, looks like about 5/8 or so. We'll mimic that on the other side. And so I'm gonna come in now and I'm gonna tape the whole top half of this down so it doesn't move. Okay. Tape it real good. Okay. I think that's going to be totally fine. This is getting to be overkill now. All right. Maybe we do one more in the center. Okay. So we're taped down. We got the top third all taped. And looks like we're pretty good here. Let me just double check the bottom measurement. And that's a little less than a 1/2 inch. That's way less than a 1/2 inch. That's a 1/2 inch. So we're not perfectly straight. God bless America. All right, you know what? I'm gonna redo this. It's off by like 1/8 of an inch on the bottom. So that means it's kind of crooked a little bit. All right, I'm gonna go redo this really quick. I'll be right back. Okay, we got it. I took my tape measure. I took all the tape off. I took my tape measure. I have a 1/2 inch on the bottom. Okay, so if I measure the edge of the side art right here and the edge of the cabinet's a 1/2 inch. Took the same measurement up here, same deal, 1/2 inch. Okay, so we know we're even with the back of the cabinet. So we're ready to put this on. So let's go ahead and what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the bottom half first, okay? And I'm gonna spray the bottom with Rapid Tac, and then we're gonna remove the backer paper and stick it on, okay? And I'm gonna use a squeegee because I have a little vinyl applicator, which I need to find. Right here. I bought this on Amazon. This little vinyl applicator. It's got a little felt kind of edge, real nice. And then we're also going to use the Rapid Tac. The Rapid Tac I picked up from a sign shop. It was like a sign supply shop on the internet. But just Google Rapid Tac and you could find it. And then I'm going to use scissors here. I'm going to have those ready to cut the backer paper. Okay? All right, let's do this. Really the hardest part's over, lining it up. So let's come in here and I'm gonna spray the bottom half with Rapid Tac. Let me make sure my tools are close by so I'm not frantically trying to find everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and spray the bottom of this cabinet with Rapid Tac. Okay, and let's take our backer paper off like so. Alright, just like so. And we're going to take our scissors and we're going to try to cut a nice straight line and remove the bottom half here. Let's take some more. Okay, we're ready to put it on. So let's come on down, and I'm just going to take this and just push it down until it sticks. And the object here is to get rid of the air bubbles. And that's where the Rapid Tac comes in. Alright, so we're going to just squeegee the hell out of this and let all of that Rapid Tac get out from underneath the vinyl. And I just want to push everything out. If you see a bubble, just focus on it till it's gone. I got a bunch of bubbles down here. I'm tempted to try the J-roller on this too. Alright. So we got a bunch of bubbles there. Let's get rid of that. And if you see bubbles, you're just basically pushing them out to the side, and you'll get like a liquid burp. A bunch of little bubbles down here. Okay, so the bubbles I'm seeing are actually on the transfer paper, not the actual site art. Okay, so we're ready to do the top now. So let's remove our masking tape now. No matter how many times I do this, I'm nervous. I'm not nervous, it's just like, it's stressful because you just don't want to mess it up. Because the side art and the art is so important to these games, and if you put it on crappy, it's just amateur hour, man. It doesn't look good. So we don't want to put it on crappy. Okay, so here's where we are now. So what I'm going to do now is the same thing, except this time we're going to go up, okay? So let's go ahead and spray the heck out of this. And let's take our paper and bend it back. And like I said, we're doing the same exact thing, except we're going up. And I'm going to add a little more Rapid Tac just because gravity is kicking all this off on me. I'm just pulling the paper back as we go. I'm just going to actually remove it 100% right now. Okay. Okay. It's on. So we got a little bit of a crinkle here. All right. And we just want to push all that liquid out. I'm just pushing it to the side, to the top. And you're going to get liquid squirting everywhere. It's okay, it's just like soapy water. Okay. All right, I think we're ready to take our paper off. All right, so last step here, we're gonna spray all of the transfer paper with Rapid Tac. Just let it soak. It's gonna just kind of break down the glue and make it easy to get off. I'm looking at the instructions. Position squeegee, weight 39. Now spray transfer tape and squeegee again. So we gotta wait about a minute and a half, 30 seconds, whatever. So I'll let that sit for about 30 seconds and we'll come back and take it off. All right, let's take this off. This is the moment of truth, guys. This is always one of my favorite times when we're doing a cabinet, is taking off this paper and revealing the artwork, because it truly is closure. It's like, wow, yeah, this really is the game. Okay, we got some creases and bubbles here. I'm wondering how much of that was just from it being rolled up and kind of getting creased. Not a big deal. We have time. We still have the Rapid Tac underneath. So I'm just going to kind of spot check everything. So like this crease right here, let's rub that out. Maybe that doesn't want to come out. There we go. We got some little minor imperfections here on the edge. I don't like that, but what you gonna do? There we go. That looks good. All right. Let me get my paper towel and we'll wipe everything down. And we'll just kind of inspect our work. So we got a bubble down here. Came right out. So this edge here. So I'm just kind of just touching up little spots, little bits of bubbles and stuff. There's nothing really major. It's like 99% perfect. Yeah, it's really perfect. Boy, that looks sharp. Doesn't that look good, guys? Holy crap, that looks awesome. Wow. That is freaking awesome, I have to say. It's on there perfect too. So just inspecting the edges, and I don't see any bubbles, no imperfections. It's actually completely perfect. There's a little crease right here. Just rub that out while we can. That's gone. And we're very straight with the back of the cabinet. All right, we're done with that side. Look at that, guys. Boy, does that pop, man. This is some great artwork. I gotta say, so Matt Can Draw, man, you did a really good job. And same thing, Rich. You guys kicked butt on this artwork. That looks so freaking amazing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead now and do the other side exactly the same as this side. But guys, we are getting somewhere. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side.
Here we are, another day. I still don't know if I will stay. I recognize the same defeat. We used to be so incomplete. But in the end, you know me best. If you feel cold, I can't contest. And here we are, another day. I still don't know if
Okay guys, we're all done with this side. It's actually the next day here, but we have the side art on both sides. This side went very smooth, very textbook. I actually had an air bubble that kind of went bad on me. I started pushing it to the edge and it started kind of kinking the material, but whatever, we'll let it go. But other than that, it's pretty much flawless. The game is looking freaking amazing, guys. I mean, come on. Look at this. With the side art, the red, the white, the blue, the colors just all pop and work. So, all right, let's keep going here. The one thing we do need to do really fast is just pop some holes in the side art, because there were bolts here, okay, that were used to hold the monitor on the inside, and the bolts are on the outside of the side art. That's right, the outside of the side art, okay? When you guys put side art on a game, you need to take the monitor, the bolts off the cabinet, and then put the side art and then put the bolts over it. Do not put side art over the bolts, okay? So anyway, we're gonna drill the holes here. I'm just gonna go on the inside and just kind of poke through here. I think I'm gonna do it from the inside, and then we might cut off the excess. Okay. Perfect. And then we'll just come in here. And now we're ready for our monitor bolts. And we'll do the same on the other side too. So let me go on the inside here. And we'll just kind of poke through. You could take the bolts too and just kind of poke them through. But I want to go in from the inside and really move as much of that material as I can. And then down here we have those 4 holes for the power supply. And actually, why don't we put the power supply in now? Let's get some of the annoying stuff over with, and the power supply is one of those. Actually, I'm gonna need the bolts for those. Now, I tumbled all of these parts, okay? And I tumbled them for a long time, like days, right? And I painted some of them, and some of them I did not paint, okay? And by the way, the tumbler did a fantastic job on this stuff. I mean, really. Just look at this. It really, really did a great job. Now, I noticed that some of these carriage bolts, to me, look like they were clearly never black, okay? So I didn't paint those ones. The ones that I thought were originally black, I did paint right here. And I just stuck them in a cardboard box and hit them with some spray paint. So some of them I painted, some of them I didn't. I just kind of made a decision on the fly which ones I thought got the paint and which ones I thought didn't. Okay, so we actually have a little bit of a problem here because these carriage bolts have a square head, right? And let's see if I can figure out which ones hold the power supply in. Is it these? So the carriage bolts have a square head, right, that is fatter than the holes. So we need to account for that somehow. I think I'm going to have to... I got to think about that. How am I going to handle this? Because... So these ones right here go in like that, right? But the square heads... I mean, the square base of the head doesn't allow it to go all the way into the cabinet. Boy. That's a bit of an issue, actually. So what are we going to do to overcome that? I could get my drill... And we could try to just kind of make this a little bit larger so this can sit in all the way. I could get my hammer and we could try to hammer this. That seems really dangerous though. I think we're going to use my drill. I'm going to get a bit and we're going to kind of countersink that hole. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try to carefully do this. This is making me a little nervous actually because we got to enlarge that hole so the base of the carriage bolt will fit on there. So let's just kind of see what happens if I come in here with a larger bit and we're just going to try to just drill that portion of it. And let's see if this goes in now. Yep, it does. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay, so we're just going to kind of enlarge just this end of it. Now this is going to spin on me, so we're going to have a little bit of trouble. Because the square shape prevents the spinning. But this might be tight enough where it won't spin. All right, so we got those two there. Let's get the other two. I guess we'll just put these brackets on real quick. So let's come on the other side and do these ones too. So I guess originally out of the factory this was a softer material because they didn't necessarily use laminate. It was a vinyl or similar. Okay. Okay. All right, let's put this one in. There we go. All right, well that worked okay. We might have to take our rubber mallet and just kind of pound them in a little bit more. And I'm going to use the rubber mallet because I don't want to ruin our paint on those bolts. So let me get that. I'm just going to come in here and just like so. So those are in there pretty tight. So, all right, let's get our wing nuts and the brackets, and I guess we'll just put these in real quick. So there was 4 wing nuts holding the brackets on. And I don't remember there being washers. There could have been, I don't know. Yeah, there was. All right, let me get the wing nuts and the washers, and we'll install those brackets really fast. All right, so I'm going to come in here with the brackets, and we're just going to throw these on here. And they go like this. I did clean these up a little bit with some Simple Green. And I don't remember exactly the setup here, but I think it had a lock washer and a washer and then a wing nut. And yes, I'm going to probably get myself into trouble here because I didn't keep track of everything. Like, I couldn't tell you where every part came from, but we're going to figure this out because I just removed all the screws and the nuts, and that was it. So hopefully we'll get lucky by deduction here and everything will just kind of fall into place. And that's usually what happens, is I just remove all the screws willy-nilly, and then at the end it just kind of comes together. All right, so I'm going to tighten this down. I put a lock washer behind it. It's kind of weird they just had wing nuts holding the monitor on. I guess they made it that way so it was easy to remove. I don't know. So I'm going to put a lock washer here and then a wing nut on top of it. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead now and just do the other side the same exact way. And our brackets are now ready for the monitor. Okay, I'll do the other ones, be right back. Okay, we have both brackets on here. I actually took my channel locks too and came in here and just really snugged that up. All right, so I want to put the power supply in. We have that same issue on the outside here because these little carriage bolts have a square base, okay, that is fatter than the hole we drilled, and so this will not go in all the way flush. So I'm just going to come in with my drill and just enlarge these holes a little teeny tiny bit. Hopefully this will allow the bolt to go in flush. Let's see what happens here. Yep, and it does. Okay. So I'm just going just a little bit larger than the hole. Okay. So let's go ahead and put all of our carriage bolts in. And these ones I did not paint because they look like they were originally chrome. Okay, so let's get the last one in, and then we'll put the power supply in. Guys, we are almost done. Oh my God, I cannot wait to be done with this project. But the thing is, we're gonna have to start another one right away. The never-ending cycle of arcade fun. All right, so let's put our power supply in. And we got to make sure we make our ground wire connections on these carriage bolts, because that's how it originally was. And so we've got all this stuff right here, these ground wires. So some of them go on the front of this, some of them go on these carriage bolts. So I believe, let's see what we got here. We've got this one. Where was this one? All right, we're going to have to figure this out as we go here, because I don't recall. So let's just get this stuff out of the way. And let's bring our power supply over. Get it in these holes. It's kind of awkward and heavy. All right, there we go. So let me get these started here. All right, so let's think about this though before I tighten this stuff down. So this one, so I'm just trying to make all my little connections because we have all those little ground wires, and I want to honor that when we put this back on. All right, so this one's interesting. I think this goes on the monitor. Yeah, it does. I think this goes on the monitor frame. And then these two here go on, oh shit. So let me take a look here. Okay, so this one, this screws to the front of the power supply right over here. Okay, that I know. Okay, so that ground goes there. And then we've got this one that I think goes here, and then this one goes over here to this screw. That's what it is. Okay, so let's undo this. Let's put this ground strap right here on this carriage bolt. Like so. Just trying to make sure we do it exactly the same way we took it apart. And then this one goes over here. Okay. So let me get my socket set and we'll tighten this down. And then we can put our new switching power supply at the bottom of the cabinet. We're getting somewhere, guys. I do want this game just in the basement and I want to be done. Not gonna lie. We've been working on this since about March, is that right? So it is time to move on. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this stuff down, be right back. Okay, so we got that thing all bolted down. I started making some of my connections here. Also ran my ground wire to the front of this metal. And I also have this ground wire that is our field ground that I screwed to the case of the power supply, of the old power supply. And we're going to remake that connection on our new power supply, which is right here. What's labeled FG, or field ground, or earth ground. And so let's just tighten that guy down. And then I want to screw the power supply to the bottom of the cabinet, because before we just had it loose. So we're going to, probably should get a real screwdriver and do this by hand. I want to strip that. So let's go ahead here and just tighten this down. It's actually pretty tight. Okay, so I'm just going to screw this to the bottom of the cabinet and make sure that our wires reach all of our connections. Because if you guys remember in one of the earlier videos, we added these little Molex connectors here to make it really easy to remove and plug this thing back in. And in hindsight, that was a very good move. So I just got to make sure that I plug everything in correctly. That I plug everything correctly in. And I did this in such a way that you can't screw it up. So that goes there. This one, that's male. Yeah. I did it so there's only one way to put these in. Okay, so that's all connected there. So let's find a good spot for this. And we also want to just kind of neaten our wires up with some zip strips. So, I don't know. I want to put it in a spot that it's easy to remove. Because I have to put these screws in. What's this loose wire here? Oh, crap. Okay, well, we just lost one of our connectors. All right, hang on. Let me redo this. Okay, I redid one of those crimps. So I'm going to go ahead and screw that power supply to the bottom there. And then we'll neaten it up with some zip strips. Make it look nice. Let me find some wood screws here that we can use. Just kind of going through my little spare screw thingy. Okay, so let me get my bit here and we'll screw that down. And I just really want to make that look as neat as possible. So I think right here is pretty good. Yeah, I like it like this, sideways. And then we'll neaten it up. And I'm just going to come in with my little cordless screwdriver. Just throw a screw in the bottom there and do the same in the back. And try to make it as parallel with the back wall as possible, not crooked. Okay, we have our power supply all screwed to the bottom. I'm going to come in with some zip strips and just kind of bundle up our wires just to make it as neat as we can. This way it looks pro. And this takes, 2 seconds to do. Okay, we have the power supply all in and zip stripped. I ended up moving the power supply. I didn't like the way the wires were naturally just wanting to rest. So I just kind of tilted it a little bit and screwed it to the bottom. So you can see everything here looks pretty neat. And then right down here I put this metal bracket back in and screwed in that stuff. And did the same on the top here. There's a metal bracket right there that you can see from the front. So I put those back in. Okay, that metal bracket. So right now I think I want to put the speaker in, the speaker grill and all that stuff. So let me grab those parts and let's get the speaker in. But God, we're getting really close here. Speaker should be pretty straightforward. So let's get the grill. Now I did not paint the grill. Here's the grill. Because I looked at it, I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty good. So I didn't even bother painting it because it's actually in good shape. So let's go ahead and put the grill on here, okay? And I need to feed the screws for the grill through. And it should be these guys. So let's feed the screws through. And I'm going to go ahead and just screw this down real quick. Okay, this speaker is in, and let's go to the front here and take a peek. I think what I want to do after this now is do the light fixture too. So the speaker grill is in. Looks great. And then let's come up here and let's do the light fixture real fast. This one was just held on by 4 little bolts, and I need to find those. They're tiny. I think I painted those. Don't, it's these guys, those little ones. So it's just these little tiny guys right here. So I'm gonna come up on top, drop those through. I did not paint those. Those were ones that I tumbled. And let me get the little nuts for them. So I'm not feeling like I've lost control of what nut goes where yet, so that's good. Okay, and then these brackets, real simple, you know, we got, basically there's just two halves here, and we've got like a ground wire we're gonna have to honor, but these just go on like so. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this stuff down and make sure this ground wire's up here, and then do the same on this side. Okay, I have the light fixture, and that was actually kind of annoying, but it's in. What I want to do now, though, is while we're working in here, I want to replace the starter, okay, and the bulb. And the starter here is threaded; it just kind of pops out. It's not really threaded. There's like these two little prongs that go in there. And this is an FS2 starter. This is probably the original one. And I went to Home Depot, and I always buy them there. They're cheap, like a couple bucks. GE FS2 fluorescent starters. So I want to replace the starter with a fresh one. That way we're starting new. And I pretty much replace all bulbs and starters when I'm starting out. So there's the new starter in. And then I picked up a new bulb because the original bulb was still in there too. And so I went to Home Depot and picked this up. It's just a F15 T12 bulb. So let's go ahead and throw this in. And maybe. Okay, so I'm gonna plug the game in actually and just make sure that works before we button this thing up. So let's plug it in. And I'm not concerned at all right now, because nothing's plugged in. You know, the power supply is gonna get power, but who cares? I just want to see if the light's working, and it's not. And oh, here, I'm gonna pull out the interlock. Okay, good. So our light works, and that's good. Okay, so why don't we put the brackets on? Because God, we don't have much left to do here. Control panel, the coin door. Why don't we put all the brackets that go up in here on, and let me see if I can figure out which ones go where, because there's 4 different brackets. So we have one that goes on the bottom. Okay, so these two are identical. Okay, so I'm guessing this one right here goes on the top. Is that right? No, that's for the control panel, isn't it? I think that these two here are the marquee brackets. Yeah, these are for the control panel, the round one. I remember now. So it's these two here. Now, I believe that these screws I pulled off were black, and these seem to be the identical bracket at the top and the bottom. You see, no, they're not. Okay, so this is the bottom, clearly, because of the angle. And then this is the top, right here. Yep, that's how that goes on. So let me get the screws, and we'll screw this in real quick. Okay, I got the screws. They were the little Robertson screws with the little square heads there. And I want to thank my buddy in Canada who brought me the Robertson bits to the Brofest tournament at Fun Spot. So let's go ahead and just screw this in. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. And we could drop our marquee in. You excited, guys? We're going to see the marquee in a second. And these Robertson screws, I just tumbled these, and they actually look really good. Did not paint these. So I'm going to get the marquee now before I get this too tight. And actually, the marquee, was it Dean from the UK? Yes, it was. Dean from the UK actually sent me this marquee, because if you remember when we got the game, it did not have the jump bug marquee. It had a warp marquee that someone had thrown on there. We actually found the original jump bug marquee inside the cabinet, as if someone like destroyed it or punched it. It looked like. Oh man, guys, it's looking like a real game here. So let's go ahead and put this top bracket on. It's starting to come alive, guys. So let me put these top screws on. We're almost done, we're almost done, we're almost done. That's the we're almost done song. All right, let me come up here and just throw these 3 screws in. I picked the best looking Robertson screws for the front. Okay, I could be down with the Robertson screws, the whole square head thing. I guess that's popular in Canada. Kind of makes sense to me. Doesn't seem very easy to strip. Okay, our brackets are on, our marquee is on. We're gonna have to clean some of this up a little bit after when we're done, because this stuff's been sitting in the garage and got dusty. I've been trying to clean up the parts as we go along, but oh, look at that. I know this cabinet is really rocky. I'm gonna have to mess around with the leg levelers. Now I know why there's 2 leg levelers, because you can use those to level it off left and right. So we're gonna have to lift up this leg leveler on this side, stop that rocking. But anyway, all right, look at this. Look at what's going on here. Oh my God, that looks legit. Okay, what do you want to do now? I think we should put the coin door together. Let's do that. And my God, we are at the finish line here. So let me clean up a little bit, because I gotta make a space. We gotta put the coin door together. Let's do that real quick. Alright guys, we have the coin door in, and I made all the Molex connections in here, and I made sure that my ground wire was reattached, okay? And right now I put 3 bolts in here, 1, 2, and 3. I didn't put the 4th one in because I remember now when I took the coin door off, one of the bolts was missing, the bottom one, so I only painted 3 of the bolts. And I found a bunch of bolts in the bottom of the cabinet. I think I'm gonna end up with extra bolts because there was so much stuff on the bottom of the cabinet. So I'm gonna paint one of these and I'll put it on like later, like in the next day or so. And I'll put the 4th one down there because I wanna have 4 black, not 3 black and then 1 silver. So, all right, so this is all hooked up. It looks okay. You know, we got the cracked bezel. It's not the best coin door, but it's presentable. Okay, so why don't we put the control panel together? I think that's the next step here. And really, the only next major step is putting the control panel all back together. So let's get set up for that, and let's do that. And the control panel is all put back together. Actually, we have to put the metal trim parts on too. The one thing I do want to do is I want to clean those leaf switches underneath. It's just going to help with kind of the responsiveness of the buttons and all that. And I'm just going to take some like cardstock here, and I'm just going to turn this over. And I'm going to take our leaves and just push down. And maybe this isn't durable enough. I need like some cardboard. You should use like some, see, look at all that dirt that just comes off. See that? So you're just cleaning the contacts, and you don't want to file this or anything. You just want to get the oxidation off of the surface there. Let me see if I can find some heavier cardboard, like from a package or something. And you could take a business card, you could take cardboard, just something that's got a little bit of rigidity to it, and basically just run it. Just push down on the leaf switch and just drag, and it will clean it. Yeah, I could see that they're really dirty. Let me find a better piece of cardboard. Hang on. Yeah, I guess we'll just use this cardstock. I can't seem to find anything in the garage, but you could just see, look at that. I mean, we're totally cleaning those contacts, and it's just going to make the game play that much better. And you got to be careful, though. You could bend these. You just have to bend them back into shape. And then once we get the game hooked up, you know, I'll check everything out, test it, and see if we need to adjust the leaf switches further. It's just really a function of bending the contacts into a good spot. But these are really dirty. And I'm just pushing down on this cardboard. Okay. Let's just kind of inspect them, make sure that they're... Like this one player one isn't so critical, but we just want to make sure it's working. 2-player, jump, they're all making contact. And we should probably do the same for the joystick. I can tell right now that this thing is, there we go. And right now I'm inspecting it, you know, so that's the center spot. So none of these switches should be touching each other, and they're not, okay? And then we can move the joystick around and just see how it hits the switches. And it looks pretty good, actually. But I am going to clean up these contacts on the joystick. Wasn't really having trouble with the joystick. I do know that these buttons, the start buttons were sticking, though. I remember I had to wail on them to get them to register. So we definitely needed to clean these. And let's come in here. Just clean that a little bit. Okay, let me just kind of inspect that. That looks nice, that looks nice. Okay, so the control panel is pretty much ready. We do need to put the trim parts on, so let's do that right now. So we have this curvy one that goes on the bottom, like so. And then there is this guy that kind of holds the bezel down. Now, for the screws on this, there was a hodgepodge of screws because whoever... I don't know why, but the operator lost some of the original screws because it only had a few of the Robertson screws. And so I went to the hardware store and I just got some screws that looked kind of commercial. And they're not Robertsons, but they're going to work just fine. I did paint them black. And I don't want to go too crazy screwing these down because I don't want to remove the black paint on them. So I got to be a little careful how we do this. I do like this black metal trim on here. It really finishes it off. It just looks very handsome. This is a good looking control panel. You know, we've got a few cigarette burns, but honestly, doesn't even bother me a little bit. It's original. Looks great. Colors are nice and strong. The button, we used the original buttons. We cleaned them up, but they're popping. All right, so I'm going to try my electric screwdriver. I'm going to test it on the first one, and if I screw it up, I have extra. But let me just see how this behaves, the paint on here. Good, no problem. Okay. All right, so our control panel is done. And we'll clean it up after we put it on the game. It's a little dusty from being in the garage, but all right, we're all set. The one thing we do need to install, though, is these little clasps, because these hold the control panel on, and I took these off and we tumbled them, and they look pretty good. So let's go over to the cabinet and just stick these on really quick. And they go right here. Got to think about the direction they go on. They should go on, I think, like this. Oops. Because they're gonna come in and clasp down like so, right? Gotta think about this, how they go. It goes like this. No, that doesn't make sense. It must go like this. Yeah, it goes like that. Alright, so I got the screws, and the screw thing is all working out. I've been able to figure out what screws go where. Just by deduction. So let me get this started here. Alright, let me get my screwdriver and we'll just screw that guy in. And really, I mean, the fact that we took every single part, we took literally every part off this cabinet, okay? We gave every part on this game full attention, right? That's the way to restore a game. I mean, we didn't miss a darn thing. There isn't a screw that we didn't touch on this game. I'm kind of proud of that, I have to say, you know? I mean, I've certainly done these down and dirty restores where, you know, you just kind of get the exterior, you know, the cosmetics that are really obvious, and you don't do too much inside. But on this restore, that's not the case. We really, I mean, think about how we removed like every single freaking screw in this game. So it was a lot of work, but I could see as it's coming together here, it was well worth it, you know, because everything was touched. And, I mean, this is a game that I'm proud to have in my basement. I sure hope I put this on the right way. All right. Okay. It should just go like that, if I did it right. All right, let's grab the control panel and throw it on. Like so. And we're going to need to put the bezel on first, I believe. But let me just test out my my little buckle things and make sure that I did put those on the right way. Yeah, I did. Okay, so those are cool. All right, so that looks terrific. Okay, so what do we want to do now? Well, I think we should put the monitor in. I think that's about all that's left. And the bezel. Actually, the bezel, there's one thing I want to take care of real quick with the bezel. Why don't we do that really fast, okay? So let me show you guys something. So here's the bezel, okay? And look right here. 1/4 per player. Looks like crap, right? It's just not good, okay? So I actually recreated that. I did it really fast. I didn't film it. I know I probably should have, but all I did was I took my digital camera. I took a photo of this, okay? I took a photo of this with my digital camera, okay? And then I measured this window. It was 2.5 by 2, okay? And then I went inside, and I took my photo that I took, and I just lined it up in Illustrator to scale, and I recreated it. And I used a font that seemed like, it's Arial. I used like an Arial font, and I just kind of compressed it so it matched. And so I made a new one of these, and I printed it on, actually I printed it on a Word paper. And I did that because it's off, excuse me, because it's not white. It's like a yellowed color, and I thought that would look kind of good on here, just to kind of match the oldness of it. So, but here's the original. You could see it had a piece of clear laminate over it, but it's nothing more than a piece of paper. And so we're gonna get rid of that. It's oh, was it red or black, the font? Interesting. I'm starting to think it might have been red. Because look, you could see the red right there. I might reprint this. My font looks pretty big too next to it. I think I'm going to redo this really quick in red. I think it was red. Now that I'm looking at this. Yeah, let me reprint this real quick. All right, I went in the house and I printed a new one out. And I did it kind of a dark red color. I don't know, that seems like it was originally red. A little minor detail, whatever. And my font is in the ballpark. It's not exact, but this is not a very critical part here. So I cleaned this up. There is a little bit of Scotch tape adhesive on the sides here. And I'm gonna carefully just put some Goo Gone on here. I don't wanna lift up the paint, the silk screening that's on the back of this plexi. So I kinda wanna do this quick. Just interested in getting as much of this Scotch tape adhesive off of here. And if I don't get it all off, I'm not going to lose my mind over it. I do not want to risk lifting up the blue, because that would be bad. So let's just clean this off real quick. I'm not going to push my luck trying to get that off, because this bezel would be very difficult to replace. And it's in okay shape, and I don't want to make it worse. So let's let this dry, and then we'll put our little paper insert on there. And we're just going to simply tape it to the back, which is how they did it in the factory. And that's pretty common. There's a lot of games that do that, where they have these little instruction stickers. So the adhesive is actually coming off now. So let's rub all this off. Okay. All right, I'm going to let this dry, and then we'll come back and we'll put that sticker on there. And we got a little bit of adhesive now that's being stubborn. Let's let that sit for a second. There we go. And it's red, by the way. The stuff that's coming off right now is red. I'm convinced that that print was red. Okay, let's let this dry, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so I cut it out with some scissors, and this is probably something that Rock-Ola included in the manual. They probably gave a bunch of these little pieces of paper that you could change out depending on if you wanted 1/4 per player or 2, and that looks actually really legit. Look at that. So let's center it the best we can, and then tape it down, and that looks pretty good right there. I'm just going to hold it in place. And they had tape only on the left and the right side. I don't know. Do we want to recreate that? I'm just going to use Scotch tape. Let's see how it looks. That looks pretty good. Looks legit. Now let's throw another piece here on the other side. And maybe we'll just throw a little piece on the top and a little piece on the bottom, like so. And I think I'm going to throw a little more in here just so these corners don't get droopy on me. Okay. That looks good. Looks quality. Okay, so what do you want to do now? I think we need to put the monitor in, and then we'll start putting the bezel and all that in the PCB. But my God, it's looking good. All right, let me grab the monitor. I'll throw that in right now. Okay guys, the monitor is in. I'm gonna clean it up real quick before we put the bezel over it. I'm just gonna spray it down with Windex. You know, all this stuff's been in my garage and it's gotten pretty dusty and grimy just from all the work we've been doing. So we wanna make sure we have a nice clean monitor here before we button this thing up. I'm thinking, I haven't decided yet, I'm thinking about rejuvenating this monitor. Let's see how it goes in the basement first. I mean, the monitor is okay. It has burned, but you don't really notice it that much when the game is going. It doesn't really bother me. And I definitely am not gonna sacrifice my new Unbox Vision Pro for this, simply because we got this monitor working pretty nice. So I think we're just gonna run with it. But I might converge it real quick. Try to improve the convergence. Okay. We are ready to put the bezel on. So let's, well, we gotta get this control panel out of the way. I gotta be careful here we don't ding up our new control panel. But the bezel, I already cleaned the inside, so that's good. I'm just gonna go over it real quick with a paper towel because we don't want to have it dirty. We don't want the inside of the bezel to be dirty here before we put it on. So I'm gonna make sure that the inside of this bezel is nice and clean, and then we'll put it in the game. And I'm gonna spray it one more time. And I'm using Windex, by the way. Do not use Simple Green on plexi on viewable areas because it's oily, okay? And I've made that mistake before when I'm cleaning my games and I get some Simple Green on the clear bezel and it's hard to get off. It's like an oily residue. So definitely use Windex on plexi. I mean, you can use Simple Green like initially to get if it's really like, you know, just screwed up, but don't use it for general cleaning of bezels, of plastic, because it doesn't come off easy. It goes on very oily. All right, so let's line this up. Get this out of the way. Oh boy, that's really grimy. You know what? I really should clean this better. I guess we can clean. Yeah, let me clean this really quick. I don't like how it looks. I haven't cleaned this yet. Look at the bottom here. Let's get all that garbage off of there before we put it in the game. See, that's gross. We gotta clean that up. I mean, I usually clean the front when it's in the game, but this is hidden by that metal channel piece. So let's just come in here and get this grime off, and it's coming right off. And I'm just using Windex. It's almost like adhesive. There's cigarette burns on this thing. But let's get the dirt off, especially the dirt that's down here, because once we put it in the game, I won't be able to clean it easily because it's going to be underneath that metal channel. There we go. That all came off pretty nice. I just realized something too. The bezel goes on after the plastic bezel. There's a frame, like a plastic frame that we need to put on first. Let's do that real quick. It's this piece here. This goes over the monitor, but we need to clean this up too. I'm gonna use Simple Green on this. All right, let me clean this up. We'll put it on, put the bezel on, and we're almost done, guys. Okay, I have the plastic bezel all cleaned up. I pulled the control panel out of here just so we could see what we're doing. So they originally had it stapled in here, and I don't want to do that. I want to do something a little non-destructive, so I got some Velcro. We're just going to Velcro it in. I think that'll work just fine. And I'll try to line up the staple holes, because you can see the staples were here and here. And if I look at the cabinet, it was basically right there and right there. So we're going to try to line it up with the Velcro. And I'm using this industrial strength Velcro, which is pretty good stuff. We used this on the Journey, if you recall, to hold the player down. All right, so let's adhere it to this. And let's just kind of line this up right about there. Yeah, I think that's just better. It's non-destructive. We don't have to put more holes in the plastic and risk breaking this brittle plastic here. I don't think I need to put any on the top. That looks pretty centered. Okay, so now we can put the bezel on, and we have the bezel nice and clean. So let's go ahead and just throw this guy on here. careful now not to scratch up my game. Okay, that goes just like so. And now we just need to put our control panel over this, which is gonna basically hold the bezel in place, because the bezel like rests on this edge here. Okay, just like so. And let me come in here and lock the control panel down. And then we need to make our mold connection. There's one. There's two. And then we make the Molex connection. All right. Okay, guys, so now what? Well, we need to put a lock on the front door, right? Okay, so I got a lock. I always use these. These are HAP. Actually, they're IL. The brand is IL. They're like Illinois. I'm sorry. They're Illinois double bit locks, and I buy the same lock every time I put this 3001 key on all my games, and it just makes a lot of sense because if you have a bunch of games, you don't want to have a bunch of keys. You know, you can just use the same key for every game, and so I always just buy this this IL one. Okay, so the key is out right now, which means it's in the locked position. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our little nut on here. I generally just tighten this by hand, but let's just put it on. This thing's stripped. There we go. And maybe we'll get our channel locks and just snug this up a little bit. Okay, so that is on. You guys can see there. Let me grab my channel locks and we'll just snug that up just a little bit. We don't have to go ape shit on it. Okay. And then I'm just going to take a standard screwdriver and we're going to put the lock in the lock position, because when the key is out, it is in the lock position. So I'm going to, the lock position, of course, is where the little bar is parallel with the ground, just like so, and we'll just tighten this down. Okay, so now we can put our key in here. There we go. Now we got a lock on the door. And should we throw that Rock-Ola sticker on here? I think we should. Let me find that sticker. Rich sent me these Rock-Ola coin door stickers that are pretty cool, and I think we should put it on. You know, that coin door is going to end up being a keeper. But here's the stickers Rich sent. He sent green and then this red, white, and blue one. The green is for Nibbler, and the colored one, the red, white, and blue one, is for Jump Bug. So let's throw this on the coin door. This will be a super awesome detail. And this might be a little stressful, because I heard that it's not quite cut to the size of the door, but to the door opening, but we'll do our best. That looks pretty good. Okay. That's a pretty awesome detail, huh? Look at that. All right, we'll let that sit there. Boy, that looks pretty sharp, huh? Little Rock-Ola name badge on there. The adhesive doesn't seem super sticky here. There's like a little piece hanging off. I'll come back later and trim that. Okay, so now we need to put the PCB in. We're gonna have to address the back door too, because we have to put the lock on it. But let's grab the PCB and put that in. And really, this is the final step right here. Let me just kind of get the dust off of it. So the game PCB just slides right in here. And there's some kind of a locking mechanism. I'm not really sure how that works. this thing here. I see. There's one in the front too. Oh, I see. You're supposed to throw a screw through that. I get it. And that keeps the PCB in. Okay. And then we marked on here parts side. Okay. So we're going to... God, this thing got really dusty in the garage. So we can come in here and plug it in on the parts side. And that's it, guys. We're done. We're frickin' done. I mean, the back door is really not done because we have to put the lock on it. But really, we're done. Should we put the lock on the back door first? Should we prolong this? Why don't we? Let's do that real quick. So I picked up a new lock, inch and an eighth, I think it was, from Twisted Quarter, which is what I pulled off of the game. So let's throw this on here. Let's go over to the table and do it. It's so muggy out here. I'm curious to see what that monitor looks like because it's really humid. And when I turn monitors on the high humidity, it's usually kind of foggy looking. We'll see. All right, let's see if we can remember how to do this. All right, so we have to screw the hardware onto the back door. And it goes right on top there. Boy, I made a mess today. All right, so we have this piece here, which I believe goes like that. Yeah, it's going to go like that, okay? And then we have the latch right here. That is going to go, I think, not really sure how that goes. Let's see. You look on the inside of the cabinet to see what it's latching onto. So this goes like this. I don't really see how this works. Because it goes on like this. Let's get our lock. Okay, it goes on like that. Okay. And then we need some screws to hold it on. So I'm looking through the screws we have left, and the question is, which ones were they? I'm looking for two that are the same, and I don't see them. I'm guessing it was these. Oh, that's too big. I'm guessing it was these. It's got to be those. All right, so let's screw that on. Okay. And then let's throw our collar on here. And snug it down. Okay, so this was the piece that I pulled off, and it doesn't make any sense to me. How could this possibly work? This makes way more sense. Oh, I see. Does it go like this? So when it's locked... To me, it looks like it should go like this. And this should be in the middle, and then that grabs the top, but... This is the part that I pulled off of the game. I almost feel like I need to go back to my video and look at it. This makes zero sense to me. I mean, if it went like that, it wouldn't even work. I mean, how can it turn? I don't get it. It's not making sense, guys. Because it's going to hit the top of the door inside the back here. There's a plate. Yeah, this... Something tells me that I pulled... The piece I pulled off was wrong. And I think that this lock... The lock I pulled off of it, I think, was wrong. I feel like going back to look at my video to see what it looked like when I pulled this off. That makes no sense. This looks like it needs to be bent up. Let's try something here. I have a hunch I knew what happened here. This thing got bent. Someone bent this. I think I need to bend it back. Let me see if I can get 2 pairs of channel locks and bend this thing back. Or my vise. Hang on a second. Okay, I bent it back. Something tells me this is how the shape used to be. It used to go and then straight up. And someone bent this, I think. I think they lost a key and they bent it down so it wasn't in the way, and then they used a screw instead. So I'm gonna have to find a piece to put in here to make this work. I should go look at my key bag downstairs to see if I have any. Yeah, let me do that. Let me see if I can find a piece like this that's longer, and maybe we can bend it and make it work. Okay, so I took this part, put it in my vise, I bent it. Now it goes on like right there, nice and smooth. It clears everything. Not sure if it's long enough though, we'll find out. If it's not long, I'm gonna have to find a new lock with a longer blade. But let's see what happens. So that's the locked position. Why is this not turning? Too tight? Okay, that's unlocked, that's locked. So I'm not sure if we have enough meat there to actually lock it on the game, but let's find out. Then we're done. Then we're officially done, guys. You know, I know that this video is just a ton of busy work, because that's all it was. But lots of just fine little details. And no, it doesn't work. So I think I have the right idea. I'm gonna find a bigger, I'm gonna find a bigger blade here. I'll go on eBay and look at locks and see if I can find one with a longer blade. And we'll do that later. I could tell here that maybe I didn't use the right screws because there's screw holes on the back. I don't know. We'll worry about that later. Okay, so, so guys, we're freaking done, man. I mean, it's time to plug the game in. This is the moment of truth. Let's just admire our work for a second. I mean, this was a long journey, right? I mean, we did this in, well, we restored this game in 8 videos. Journey took 27 videos. Big difference. Am I getting better? Or was Journey just more involved? I don't know. I think this was a very good restoration. I mean, my God, let's look at this freaking game, right? But enough of this. Let's plug it in, and then we can talk about how awesome we are afterwards. Because if it doesn't work, all right, here we go. We're gonna pull the. Oh, I have to plug the monitor in. Monitor is not plugged in. Let me make sure the game is off. I have to plug the power into the monitor, which is just a little Molex connector. I'll do it real quick, guys. It's just a 2-pin connector. I also have to plug the video signal into. I'll show you guys that in a second here. Let me just plug this in, and I'll show you what I'm doing. So I'm plugging the video signal in. Okay, now we're ready to turn it on. Okay, marquee lights on. By the way, this game doesn't have coin door lights from the factory. It didn't have coin door bulbs, which is weird. All right, let me turn the lights off in here. A lot of glare. Sounds great though. Let's see if we can coin up. There we go. All right, pitcher's coming. There's something wrong with that one-player start button. So we have a pitcher here. Or do we? No, we don't. What's going on here? We don't have a pitcher, and I'm wondering if it's a humidity thing. What is going on here? Well, we have no pitcher. What is happening? Okay, what is going on? Something's not right. Let me double check my connections and stuff. Okay, I don't know what's going on. It's all cloudy, and there's clearly an image on the picture, but it's all blurry, and I know that this is a humidity thing. So I'm gonna just let this thing warm up, and I'm gonna let it just stay on for about 10 minutes and see if it clears up. But it's totally out of focus. There's a picture there, but I know it's a humidity thing. So I've experienced this before in the garage. So I'm just gonna let it keep going here, and I'll come back in about 20 minutes and see how it's looking. Okay guys, I let the monitor warm up for about 20 minutes or so, and it's totally clear. So, all right, here's the plan. And by the way, we're done. We are freaking done. Look at this. Look at it. It looks pretty great. You have to admit, guys, come on. Oh, I can't wait to play this game in the basement, but I think we did a pretty good job here. It looks really, really good. And by the way, since I went away in the video here, I was looking at that quantum cabinet back there, so I stole the little thing off of it, this little little arm, whatever you want to call it. So now it works and it locks. So the back door now is all fixed up, and it will lock with the lock, and everything looks pretty good in here, guys. It's nice and neat and tidy, and I feel pretty good about this. I mean, let's kind of walk around and admire our work. So everything looks pretty tight in here, nice and clean. You know, this monitor, I'm not convinced it's really perfect. I'm gonna actually adjust it. I'm gonna wait till it gets dark, and I'm gonna get a mirror and I'm gonna adjust it. I'm gonna try to converge it too a little bit, because the colors are a little bit off. And the picture kind of gets a little jumpy when it's warming up, and I don't know if that's the humidity that's causing it or if it's a monitor issue. But this looks really good. It really does. Oh my God. This was a great restore. It truly was. I mean, just look at this thing. This looks beautiful. It looks like it was made yesterday. Yeah, it's not perfect. You know, our marquee's got some scratches and stuff. We got some cigarette burns. The coin door is not perfect, but these parts here, I'm confident I will find these over time. This is a very standard coin door. So I'll be on the lookout for that, and I can always fix that later. It's not a big deal. But everything else here just looks tight, man. Oh, guys. And it works. The game works. We can coin it up right here. By the way, it's got 26,984 plays. So that's what? This game made about $1,300? Is that right? Less than that, right? Oh, God, not this again. So basically, we take 26,000, we divide it in half, okay? That's 18,000. And then we divide that in half, and we get 9,000. So did it make $9,000? So it's got 26,984 credits. This is one of our favorite exercises on this channel, isn't it? Trying to figure out how much a game made, and I can never do the math on the fly. All right, let me open my calculator here. We're gonna do this for real, okay? So, all right, so it has 29. Let's clear it here. All right, let's look again. 26,984. Okay, 26,984, and we're gonna go times 0.25 cents. Okay, a quarter. This game made $6,746. That's actually probably pretty profitable for back then. But anyway, it's going to stop recording now. Actually, you know what? When I coin it up here with this, I'm hitting this button. it's advancing the meter. So even when it's in the basement, that meter is going to be advancing. So we don't really know how many of those credits on that meter are free play or actual coins that were dropped into the game. But anyway, all right, here's the plan. I'm going to let this game just, I want to run it in the garage for an hour or two just to make sure everything's stable. And then when it gets dark tonight, I'm going to adjust the monitor, or I might see if Adam wants to come over tonight and do this. I was hoping to adjust this when it's too bright in here to really adjust this monitor properly. It's just too bright. I like adjusting it in the dark or near dark. But anyway, all right, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to see if I can get Adam. I'm going to adjust the monitor, and we're going to bring this thing down to the basement because it is basement worthy and it is ready. Woohoo! All right, guys, I'll be back. Okay, guys, it is nighttime now. This game's been on like for the last 2-3 hours, so it's so far rock solid. I just spent about a half hour converging the monitor and trying to get the colors as good as I can. Now, I tried doing it with the game itself, playing, and it was actually very hard because I just couldn't focus on anything because the game kind of has this endless attract mode, and I couldn't just lock into one area to test, to use as a gauge. So I remembered that Crafty Mech, okay, had given me the TPG. This is Crafty Mech's test pattern generator. Okay, it's a battery-powered device. It plugs into the monitor instead of the game board, and you can generate a bunch of different test patterns. Now, I tried this before on my 720, and I couldn't get it to work. Well, stupidly, I didn't adjust the horizontal hold, is what I was told later. So now I know. So I plugged it in. It was kind of scrolling, and I just adjusted the horizontal hold, and it just kind of locked in. So anyway, when you turn it on, okay, it looks like this, right? Nice little boot sequence here, and then it'll go to. I think we have to press this actually to go to the first test. Okay, so the first test is this grid. Okay, and then what I was doing was I was putting the cross hatch on, okay, and I was really looking closely at it, trying to get perfectly white lines and perfectly white dots, okay, because white is generated by all three colors, okay? So when you want white, you have red, green, and blue all stacked up onto each other. When the convergence is off, if red is off, you'll see red poking out of the side, okay? If blue is off, you'll see it poking out of the side. The problem is, though, is that on these monitors is that you might adjust this section and get it perfect, but then up on top and up on bottom aren't good. So it's kind of a balancing act. So I put it on this screen, and I went in the back here, and I adjusted the convergence. Now, what does that mean? Well, hey guys, it's actually the next day here, and I'm inserting this little clip in because I didn't really like how I explained the convergence last night in the video. And honestly, I have to tell you, the way I do this is not very scientific, okay? I basically move these rings around until I get the picture I like, and I've always done it that way, and it works well for me, but I do feel like it is my due diligence here to at least explain this the best I can and more properly, okay? And I'm using the manual as reference, okay? And all of these are monitor manuals really cover convergence and purity in great detail. Now, what I'm doing in the video here is not purity, though. I'm really doing the static convergence, which is moving the guns around and lining them up, okay? And the purity is adjusted with, by the way, there's 3 sets of rings here, okay? There's 3 pairs. And the top, and by the way, I have hot glue on them because I'm happy with the picture right now, and I threw some glue on here because I don't want those rings to move. But the top 2 rings are for the purity, okay? And that is for the purity adjustment, which involves moving these rings forward and backwards and the yoke, and we weren't doing that, okay? And the purity is basically, just as it sounds, you want a very pure, like white color, okay? So you basically, it covers it here in the manual, but basically, after you get the yoke in the right spot, you want to have a uniform white color, and you want to tame the 3 colors and confirm whether white uniformity is balanced. And you do all that with with the top 2 rings and also the positioning of this set of rings on the neck here, forward or backwards, okay? But last night we were really messing around with the convergence, the static convergence. Now I was moving those purity rings just to kind of get stuff in the right spot, but you don't need to. You really want to mess with the middle 2 and the bottom 2. Okay, the middle 2 pair of rings are blue and red, okay, and the bottom 2 pair of rings are blue and red on green, okay? And when you move the middle 2 rings, okay, when you move them together, okay, you're adjusting the vertical convergence, okay, of red and blue, and that basically is them coming together vertically, okay? And then when you move them apart, you're adjusting the horizontal convergence of red and blue, okay? And that they're coming together horizontally, okay? Now, keep in mind, this is a vertical monitor, so everything's kind of the opposite, okay? And then when you move the bottom 2 rings, you're moving the red and blue and the green towards each other vertically when you move them together, okay? And then when you move them apart, you're moving the red and blue towards green horizontally, okay? So red and blue together with green horizontally, okay? And so when you look at the picture and you see that red and blue and green are separated, or green is over here, you move those rings apart, and when you do that, these will come together and line up. Does that make sense? Again, all of this is in the manual. I encourage you guys to read it. It is a little confusing, and honestly, John does it in a very unscientific way. Well, I guess I kind of do it in a scientific way, but I wanted to explain it right. Because I don't really put a lot of thought into when I'm moving the rings. I just start moving them, and then I look on the screen and I see what it's doing, and then that's really all I do, okay? You guys, I suggest you read the manual just so you understand kind of the basic concept, but really, I'm just kind of eyeballing it, and it tends to always work for me. So, all right, let's resume. And so I played with those and also adjusted the colors and the brightness till I was getting what I thought was pretty good, okay? It's not perfect though. I mean, if you sit here and study it, you'll see the red is a little to the right in the center, and then in the bottom, the blue's a little to the right, okay? And if we continue to the next screen here, I actually use this screen quite a bit, and I was trying to get nice sharp edges on all these squares, and I really kind of did. And then if we go to this one, I was adjusting my colors till I had a really nice white here, okay? And I wanted this to be white, because if that's a nice white, that means my red, green, and blue are all kind of adjusted nicely. So I kind of focused on the white bar here, and played with the red, green, and blue till I didn't see a tint of red or green or blue in it. And then once I did, I knew that my adjustments of red RGB were pretty good. And this goes white, yellow, like cyan, light blue, green, magenta, red, blue, and black. Okay, so let's go on. And this is just some more color bars here. This is white. That's supposed to be white. You could see the burn of the monitor really bad, really obvious in this picture here. These are just some colored patterns: full screen green, full screens, gray, white, and then the little animation. Really slick unit, by the way. So looking at this right now, it's not perfect, okay? If we look in the center, it's not bad, but the edges, it starts going haywire. So I'm not sure how we did, to be honest. Let's plug the board in and see what kind of results we get. But I think I might be done though, because this monitor is so old, and I think I got it as good as I'm gonna get it, but let's just see how it looks now with the game plugged in. So I have the game off, and I'm just plugging the board in real quick. I'm plugging in the video signal from the board instead of the test pattern generator. So let's turn that on, and let's take a peek at what's going on here. And hopefully, okay, so it's rolling because I had to adjust my my horizontal frequency here. So let's go ahead and fix that real quick. Can't really see what's going on. So we're rolling here. I'm trying to look from the back here, and let me fix that real quick. There we go. Okay. So how does that look? I think it looks pretty good, actually. It's not perfect. I see the blue is off down here. Colors are a little dim. I think I'm going to turn the screen up a hair. It's a little dark. I think I'll just turn up the brightness just a little bit, the screen. That made it darker, I think. see how that looks. That might be too much. Okay, let's see how it looks now. It doesn't look bad. It's a little... It doesn't look as strong as I had it before. I had the colors kind of amped before. Let's see if we could try it here. You know, adjusting these monitors, honestly, it's just trial and error. I mean, there is, from my point of view, okay, that looks a lot better there. I think I'm gonna jack the colors up a little bit. Yeah, I think it looks a lot better, actually. What do you guys think? I'm gonna crank the red and blue a little bit and the green and just see how it looks. Just so we can get a little stronger colors, but it doesn't look bad. Yeah, that looks better there, huh? That looks stronger. That red is a little too much, though, I think. Let's see. That might be pretty good. Let's see how that looks. What do you guys think, huh? Now I'm just going to kind of do some fine-tune adjustments here. And I'm just adjusting the pots on the neck board. The color pots. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks better than it did. So I think I'm done adjusting the monitor. I spent a lot of time on it, to be honest, and I'm not confident I'm able to get it much better. My convergence is still off, but this monitor is ancient. The tube is probably shot a little bit. I don't know if I should rejuve it or what, but it doesn't look bad. All right, I think I'm gonna stop here, and then I think we're ready to bring this game into the basement. Are you guys getting excited? Because I am. So I need to find someone to help me. So, all right, guys, we'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I played with it some more. I just couldn't leave it alone. And I think it's looking pretty good now. I'm not sure if my blue's cranked here, but I think the screen, the background, is not exactly black here. But let's just play a little bit. And I was really using the dollar amounts on these bags as a gauge to how good my convergence was. And so like the 100 right now, the 150, the purple, that looks pretty good. Before I was seeing some blue. Now the monitor is twitching a little bit. I'm not I suspect, I don't know, man. I don't trust this flyback in here. I don't know why. I just feel like the flyback might be bad on this thing. I could just be completely wrong. But I think these colors look pretty sharp. I think this is about as good as I'm gonna get this monitor. So, anyway, just a quick little update. How does it look? I think it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Did I do okay? All right, I'll be back. Hey, Adam's here.
Hey, and you know what that means. It's game moving time.
Is that what it means, Adam? So, of course, Adam has a YouTube channel called One Circuit that you guys need to watch.
Yeah, it's got all sorts of tech stuff on there.
Because Adam is an engineer, so it's very technical. So if you guys want more of a tech-heavy aspect of this hobby,
go check it out.
Go there. And then Adam, we got to ask.
It's actually coming along pretty well.
Adam is doing a pole position clone board.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is a modern FPGA replacement drop-in plug.
We've had this conversation.
I know, but we have to keep asking you about it because everyone's anticipating this board, and so he's making a modern board. It's going to fix 1 million pole positions out there. Yeah. Right. That's the plan.
That's the plan.
So, you done?
No, but I'm getting closer.
Are you getting closer?
So, like in the last video that we shot, I had the sound working on the FPGA arcade board.
Yeah.
My goal was to replicate that hardware in a little, form factor that we could slip in the cabinet.
Right.
And there's some hoops that I had to jump through because not all the design would fit in there, and I had to have a bunch of external memory and stuff like that. On a whim, I went on the Xilinx website, and they released a 7 series not too long ago.
A new board, a new chip.
New FPGA, new family of FPGAs.
Ah.
And I think in an attempt to get people out of the older ones that people are still using, they're cutting their prices pretty drastically on the 7 series, and it has enough room and more for everything that I want to do pole position. So no external memory, none of that stuff, except for the non-volatile stuff for your high score.
Okay.
But everything else can fit into a single chip.
Awesome.
So once I saw that, I just stopped what I was doing. I stopped working on trying to get everything fitting into that FPGA arcade board and started working on the schematics for the pole position clone board.
Gotcha.
So I'm nearly done the schematics, and then once that's done, it's laying out the PCB and getting some prototypes.
So right now you have all the pieces working, right? Like the gameplay works, the sound works. So now you have to take those pieces that are on different hardware platforms and then put it all on one. Yeah. Right?
Yep.
So you figured each piece out, and now you got to just make it into one cohesive thing.
Yeah. And rather than waste my time on all these, I have a bunch of little dev kits that each do different things.
Yeah.
I'm just going right for the PCB that's going to go into the game.
Right.
I think I'm ready, so I'm just going to lay that out and get a prototype going and go from there.
Yeah, I know it's summer and you're busy, and you know we're skateboarding and doing stuff.
I have no problem taking time off to go skate.
So maybe in the winter you're going to wrap it up again, and
yeah,
it'll be out soon.
Yeah, I think so.
In the next year.
Yeah. I don't see why not, right? It's going to take me 10 years to get this far.
Well, maybe I'll come over sometime and we can do a little...
Yeah, because we have to go over the menu. Like, you know,
yeah.
You're more graphically intent than I am, and you have an eye for that.
That'd be fun. So. Yeah. Do we know what it's called yet?
No, you know, it's funny. I watched that video where we went to the game. Yeah. And I think I mentioned we need to come up with a name for it.
Yeah.
Because it's like multi-pole or multi-position. Like both of us have kind of sexual...
Right. It sounds like a strip club.
Exactly. So we got to come up with a name for it.
Yeah, we do. What should we call it? We asked people last time, and there were some comments. I forgot what they were.
Oh, really?
I think so in that video, yeah.
Because I had envisioned doing a marquee, you know, a multi-game marquee for it, or something like that, you know, because otherwise people won't realize it's got 4...
Clone position.
Clone...
Huh? That's not bad. Yeah. Clone position. All right, we'll think about it. If you guys got ideas for the
let me know.
What this multi-board, because like the multi-Williams is called the multi-Williams, right?
But what's the other ones?
J-Rock.
The Milestar and the...
It's just multi-Milestar, isn't it?
Really?
I don't know. I actually don't even know.
Get the Frenzy multi-game.
And then there's the Berserk Frenzy one. Yeah. So, I don't know. All right, so Adam, we're going to bring this in the basement. I'm all done.
Cool.
How did I do? Did I do okay?
It's beautiful. Is this the first one you've done with the laminate?
It is, yeah.
It is, yeah.
It's the first time I've ever done laminate.
That's the way to go, though, huh?
It's amazing. It looks brand new.
It does.
I mean, it doesn't look like paint. I mean, when you paint it, it's like, oh yeah, the guy painted it.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, this was made at some factory. That's like the feel of it.
It's got that spray look to it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's like it was,
It's just, it really is the way to go.
Yeah. And I mean, it's durable too, right?
It's durable and it cleans up and it's pretty scratch resistant and.
Is it affordable? I mean, how much?
Well, here's the thing. You save a lot of time in labor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Right.
So what's your time worth?
Exactly. So if your time is precious, then just go with it.
Yeah, because like when I did the Journey, I sanded that thing and put multiple coats on over multiple days. Yeah. I mean, I probably, honest to God, probably have 10, 20 hours in that paint job.
Yeah.
I mean, hours just in sanding.
Yeah.
And then, painting again, just over and over, and just really scrutinizing the work. And it's like,
get it all to look. The paint has to look consistent throughout.
Right. And then you're like, oh, okay, one more coat, and then one more coat like adds like 2-3 more days.
Yeah.
So the if you paint a cabinet, with the paint and the supplies, you're probably like $50.
Yeah.
This is 130.
Yeah.
So.
But
it's
still,
triple.
If it takes a week or 5 days, 7 days.
Right.
Well, why not do it?
You saved hours and hours of time. For like $80, you're saving like 10 hours. Yeah. So that's actually not a bad deal. You don't
want to be spending your summers in here.
Yeah. I mean, I did the laminate in probably 2 hours total, I think, and I was done.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would do it again. I think for especially common colors like white and black.
Right.
Maybe
not a game like Miss Pac where you have a stencil or something, but if it's just solid color with some side art, then
it makes complete sense. Yeah. So, all right, so we're gonna bring the game down, and I know I thought we'd film this because people always wonder how to move games.
Sure.
And I know we've shown it in past videos, but basically I have an appliance dolly. I bought this at Home Depot for about $100, and it's invaluable. I use it for all of our game moves. And what's great about it is it's good to go downstairs with this, because it has these little tread things, whatever they call them, stair climbers. So when you're bringing it down the stairs, we're basically laying it flat on its back and then just rolling this down all the treads. And then also you could strap the game to the cabinet, which is critical.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have it strapped to a dolly, it's very dangerous. Because when we're moving it, we're just holding the dolly, not the game, really.
Right.
So let's strap it down. And I guess we can, I think we'll be okay. I don't think we need to put any cardboard. Sometimes I'll put cardboard on the edges.
And we usually, what, pitch this forward, right? Slide this under?
Yeah, yeah. Yep, so we'll get that cart underneath there.
Centered.
Yep. And then we'll just go around and strap her on. I'm not too concerned about the cabinet. I think it'll be okay. Sometimes I'll put cardboard on the corners. I don't feel the need.
After all that long work.
What? Well, I've kind of stopped doing that, and I realize it's not really.
I mean, this has got, that's what this is for, right?
It's not really damaging the cabinet, you know.
Protect it.
Because in the beginning, I was kind of like just over, you know, safety, not safety, but just over paranoid, and I would put cardboard and just go crazy, and the cardboard's falling while you're trying to.
Right.
All right, so pull that as tight as you can.
Okay.
All right, and then we're gonna just take this guy here. We gotta go a little tighter.
A little tighter, all right.
Yeah. Let's see if we got this right. We might have it backwards. Ah, there we go. All right, so we're all strapped in.
Good to go.
Something tells me that this is backwards.
It is backwards.
Huh?
That's why I flipped this here.
It is?
But that's fine. I mean,
Yeah, we're doing it backwards because this thing actually wants to go like this, not like that.
do we want to redo it? Or?
Yeah, I think we do.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna re-strap it on. We did it wrong. Okay, and we flipped the strap around the little buckle should be on that side, so the right side when you're looking at it, and then when you clamp it down, you're gonna go this way, not the other way. There we go. And now it's completely on this cart, and so when we bring it down, we're letting the cart do all the work. It's really not hard to bring the games down at all.
Well, 2 guys.
Yeah, with 2 guys, and definitely don't try doing this yourself. I have tried doing it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I did my Moon Patrol by myself.
Are you serious?
And
How do you do that? How do you?
Well, I thought I had it figured out because I put the game on the cart,
Yeah.
right? And
You didn't video this by any chance?
no, I put the game on the cart, and I said to myself, I think the safest way to do it is if I get on the bottom.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'll just slide the game down the stairs.
Yeah.
Right? Well, what happened was the game went left. The whole thing went, and I was panicking, like yelling for my wife, and it was scary. And I scratched the side of it. I'll never do that again. So, have patience.
Please call me.
You know, have patience. Wait for a friend. Don't try doing it yourself. It's just not worth it.
yeah.
It's really not. So, all right. Well, let's bring this thing down to the basement. You ready, Adam?
Yep, let's do
Woot.
it.
And by the way, thank you for coming over. Guys, yes, it is true. The jump bug is in the basement. So where is it? Where is the jump bug? Well, if you guys remember, we sold the Gyrus a couple weeks ago, and I slid Paperboy and Major Havoc down. So jump bug is now living in the spot where Major Havoc was, and I think it looks really good. What do you guys think? Do you like it? And it's nice because the whirlwind kind of sits back far, so we can see some of the side art, right? We can see our hard work there on the sides, but I think it looks really great. And of course, I need to thank Adam for helping me bring it down into the basement because quite frankly, I couldn't have done it without you, pal. So thank you very much, Adam. Be sure to check out his channel, One Circuit. It's a great YouTube channel. It's a lot more technical than mine, but it's a lot of good arcade stuff. So the monitor, I gotta tell you, is kind of bothering me, all right? Now, I have, since I brought it down here, I turned down the screen, and now the picture's more black, but the picture starts twitching. It's not doing it right now. I'm still wondering if it's a humidity thing and it needs to just be down here for a couple days. So I'm not going to pass judgment on the monitor just yet till I live with this for a week or two. Actually, right now, at this very second, it looks perfect and stable. And I think I did a pretty decent job adjusting it. I do. My convergence is not 1,000,000%. Like from here to here, the convergence is good. And then on the very bottom, it's not. And I think I'm just gonna let it go, okay? It's not good down here. You can see, look at that. But the rest of it, like the top 2/3 is perfect. So it's actually not a bad looking monitor. For, you know, the 4600 monitors are actually good monitors. They do give you a good picture. They're just really antiquated with their controls and the card system, and it's a headache, but if you can get it working, you're in good shape. So right now the monitor seems to be just perfect. So maybe I was having a humidity issue down here, because when I first brought the game down and we turned it on, oh my god, the whole picture was foggy like it was in the garage. And it's been down here now for an hour or two with the air conditioning, and it seems like it's really stabilizing now. I just saw it kind of twitch right there. You guys seeing that? I don't know what that is. It's not doing it right now. So anyway, Jump Bug is here. We're not going to do a gameplay video today, okay? We are going to come back and do part number 9 of the Jump Bug. We are, okay? Part number 9 is going to be gameplay, okay? And I'm going to be practicing a lot because I actually really enjoy playing this game. I truly do. I think it's an awesome game. Yes, I know it's a bummer we had to get rid of Gyrus, but really, I'm going to enjoy this game a lot more. The game is actually very, very deep, and I'm excited to show you guys all the different levels and little tricks. Yes, tricks. There are a bunch of little tricks when you play this game. It's actually pretty neat. So we'll be revisiting Jump Bug actually sooner than later, but right now, I'm just so stoked and so happy to be done with this project. I mean, my god, when did we start working on that? In March? I mean, I picked up that game like last winter, and it took us, I don't know, four or 5 months to finish. Is that right? Does that sound? March, April, May, June, July, about 4 months, I think. And I guess it wasn't that bad. I think it went quicker than the Journey, right? Because the Journey, well, that was 27 parts. I think back now, like, why was that 27 parts? Did I do that much more in the Journey than the Jump Bug? I guess I did. Yeah, we had wiring harnesses to make and stuff, so yeah, I guess we did do a lot more on the Journey, but we finished a restoration. Now we need to go on to more stuff, though. That's the problem. We're not done. I got a garage full of projects. I do think the next project we're gonna do is gonna be that Nintendo Versus game. I need to get that out of the garage, and I needed to finish it. It's going to be a video or two, a couple of weeks, and then we're done. So I haven't told you guys yet what that game is, okay? It's a mystery. It's a surprise for somebody, and I can't tell you what it is until it gets in the guy's hands. And it's going to be a fun thing when I'm able to disclose what it is I'm working on. You're going to like it, okay? But we're going to do all the work, and I'm not going to tell you what the game is till like a few weeks after we're done. So it's going to be fun. But I know that this video is mega long. This is like pushing 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours long. So I'm going to do 2 really quick viewer mails. If you guys want to participate in the viewer mail segment, email them to me, blkdog7@gmail.com. That's blackdog7, blkdog7@gmail.com. In the subject line, please put viewer mail. Okay, the first one here from Jason. Hey John, Jason here. This will be a short viewer mail, and my question is, do you know where I can find software and a hard drive for my Golden Tee Complete? As the last one I had fried out and it was wiped clean. Please help me, or can you burn me a copy and I send you the money through MoneyGram or Walmart? Please let me know your friend Jason. P.S. Nice job on the Jump Bug game. Looks good. I can't wait to see it in the basement. It's here. It's right there. Look at it. Look at it. we have to like situate the camera so we can actually see it. Is that better? A new vantage point. Let me fix my hair here. Okay, so listen. I can answer this question because I've done this, okay? My Golden Tee Complete hard drive died a long time ago, okay? And what I did is I just went on eBay. There's guys on eBay selling the hard drive, okay? The hard drive will work in any system, okay? It's not tied to any kind of serial key or anything. So you can swap hard drives. So go on eBay and buy one of the Golden Tee Complete hard drives. There's a gazillion of them on there at any given time. Just go buy it from there. You could probably get it for $30. And honestly, I don't have time to, or even really the hardware to image a hard drive. I couldn't help you, okay? Just go to eBay for 30 bucks. It'll be quick and painless. And also, if you want, there's guys selling solid state drives. I don't know, I thought about upgrading mine with a solid state drive for a while. I don't think there's any real benefits, but there are guys on there on eBay selling solid state Golden Tee Complete drives. But eBay is what you need to do. Okay, next one's from Zach. Dear John, I love that you put all your videos on YouTube. I would love if you could tell me how to get started in the hobby like yours. I have a lot of time, but I don't know how to get started. Sincerely, Zach. Well, Zach, how do I answer this question? Zach, you gotta just jump in. I'm serious. Just get a game and go for it, man. Because that's what I did. When I started in this hobby about 8 years ago, I had no freaking idea what I was doing, okay? I hadn't soldered since high school. I really didn't know how to use a multimeter. I didn't know how to really read schematics. I knew the basic idea. But anyway, the point is that I learned everything. Everything that I know and I'm sharing with you guys, I have learned in the last 8 years and after I got my first game, which was that Donkey Kong right there, okay? When I got that Donkey Kong, the thing was busted. And I was kind of forced to fix it, and I did. And I just kind of dived into this hobby. So the only advice I can give you is you gotta just do it, man. Just get off your butt and do it. Go on Craigslist, find yourself a project game, get a piece of junk game, and just dive into it. You know what? Buy something. Buy a $50 conversion. Buy a $200 conversion, and just jump into it. That's all you. And you know what? Google is your friend, man. Google, you can figure out if you can Google, if you got Google skills, if you have Google Foo, which I do. I have Google Foo. If you've got some Google Foo, and you can really come up with search terms and search for things 10, 15, 20 different ways, you will find answers to almost any question that you have during a project, okay? And of course, watching all my videos is gonna help you, right? Because you can see me doing it. I'm just a guy, figuring this stuff out. So I encourage you to grab a game and just dive into this hobby, and don't be afraid, because you will figure it out, okay? Just have some common sense and you can do it. So, all right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I'm so excited to be done with that jump bug. Honestly, I am. I am besides myself. Look at it. And I can't wait to, I'm leaving the arcade on. Usually, after I finish this video, after I finish this segment, I turn the arcade off and I go and edit the video. And then I finish and I bounce it and I go probably watch TV or something upstairs while it's bouncing. Not tonight. I'm leaving the arcade on. I'm going to finish the video over there. I'm going to do the editing, and I'm going to play that game all night long, and I'm going to see what kind of score I can get. And I am not leaving this basement tonight till I have a little John's Arcade high score card. Oh, by the way, that game does not have free play. It does not save the high scores, which is a total bummer. 2 strikes against it. So I'm going to have to open the coin door all the time to coin it up, and oh, excuse me. And I have to get one of my little high score cards for it. No big deal. But I wish it had free play. I wish it saved the scores. I did, by the way, before I brought it down here, I went on Twin Galaxy's website, and they had the dip switch settings, like the tournament settings, which I always set my games to the Twin Galaxy settings. So I went on Twin Galaxy's, and the settings were 3 men, 3 cars, okay, 3 lives, and difficulty hard. Difficulty hard. I had the game on easy. So all along, all the time I've been playing it in the garage with Matt and myself, it's been on easy, so now it's on hard. I'm very curious to see what it's going to be like when I start playing it for real. How much harder hard is compared to easy. But I want to get good at it. I want to get a really good score, because the arcade high score is like 200,000 points, and the world record on Twin Galaxies is like 800,000. I think my high score is less than 100,000, so I have a lot of work ahead of me. But we're going to come back. We're going to do some jump on gameplay videos. All right, guys, I'm going to stop talking. We need to get out of here. So this is a long video. So anyway, guys, if you've never subscribed to my channel, do so. I release new videos on Sundays and sometimes in between. And by the way, tell your friends. Let's grow the channel. We're almost at 20,000 subscribers, which is very exciting. So if you've never subscribed, definitely click subscribe right. I mean, if you made it to the end of this video, you're a candidate for you're a subscriber candidate. So click it. So anyway, And then check out my podcast, Video Game Outsiders at videogameoutsiders.com and Arcade Outsiders at arcadeoutsiders.com. All right, guys, I'm done. I am done. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the series, but we'll be back. We're going to be playing some Jump Bug soon. So, all right, guys, later and bye.